Hey, this is Kyle, and today we're going to be looking over this 2019 BMW X5 xDrive50i. And this is the G05 chassis with an N63 TU 4.4 liter twin turbo V8 engine that produces 465 horsepower and 480 pound-feet of torque. And that is to a xDrive or all-wheel drive chassis. And as you can see, it just beeped because the key in my pocket got closer. As you can see, it locked itself. You can see those mirrors just folded in. So I walked away from the car, so it locked itself. See this X5 xDrive50i. And in this color, it does look very nice, in my opinion. Alright. And you can see it has running boards there, as well as these plastic liners to protect the body from paint chips, from rocks. And then this gives a little bit of space before body from everything that you're kicking up. And it's the same on the rear. You can see it'll just kick off and it won't hit any painted surfaces. As we open the door to the inside, you can see this very light colored seat material. You can see the panoramic sunroof up there. It says BMW Individual as you're looking inside. And then we'll go look back there. And then in the front you can see that a large center area with a big screen. You can see the M Sport steering wheel. You see this, again, light colored seat with that wood grain. We'll look inside the front here. And everything is nice soft touch all the way up here, here, and then we have these aluminum rimmed trim for our lock and lock buttons, our handle, which is very nice and thick. And then we have seating options, even for the passenger, has its own memory seat functionality. And then obviously our window with that wood trim. Harman Kardon sound system here on the door, as well as in the dashboard. So let's go ahead and get in and take a peek. And it says welcome. See our vehicle in the gauge cluster is saying that the passenger door is open, so that you know. See that the car is off right now and it's at 70 degrees. And you can see it does have a few buttons for air conditioning, your fan controls, your temperature controls, your heated seats, your defrosters, your fan settings. And you can see over here they also have their own fan controller, so it's dual fan and dual temperature. So it's definitely dual climate control. You can see there we have the adjustable temperature for passenger as well as driver. and then adjustable fan settings, fan speed and fan location, air conditioning and heated seats on this model. And then you have your volume knob, your mode for AM, FM, Bluetooth, etc. Bands. You have 8 dials. You can see our presets, and then you have your skip track. If we look inside of here, you can push up. Inside of the cup holder, you have a power outlet or cigarette lighter. You have your cup holders, a USB port, as well as a wireless charging pad. And then you have a cubby. And then moving down, you see we do still have this iDrive knob. However, it is also touchscreen. So you can tap to navigate everything on this display. Or you can utilize the iDrive that we're all used to using if you've owned a BMW, and you can go ahead and use this. It is also a touch controller, so you can do your gestures. So you've got a media button, home to bring you to this home, map to get you up to navigation, navigation as well, and communication, which will bring you to your telephone, and then back option, and then you have your dial, which rotates, pushes up or down, left and right, as well as spins. You also have all of your drive mode settings. So you have Sport, Comfort, Eco Pro, and then in the G05, the Eco Pro, you can actually configure your settings individual for your Eco Pro. So you can tell you about speed warnings on where Eco Pro will stop working, your functions of your Eco Pro, as well as driving dynamics. So you can set your steering to sport or comfort steering in Eco Pro. So we have adaptive as well. Auto hold for your parking brake if you want. When you shift into park, it'll automatically put the parking brake on for you. And then you have your hill descent control. You also have your start engine button right here on your shifter, right next to on your console, right next to your traction control button, your auto start stop button, your parking sensors, as well as your front parking camera activation. So if you're pulling into your spot, it'll automatically turn it on up there, or you can go ahead and press the button and it'll activate the camera up on the top. And we can definitely take a peek at that when we're sitting in the driver's seat. In here we also have our user manuals, of course, in our booklet. And you can see it's a nice deep pocket. So it's able to fit everything with no issues. You can see it's a good size. And as you're getting out, which is a little bit more difficult to do due to these sideboards, but as you're looking at the seat, you can see that these front area, it adjusts with the side buttons. There's a bunch of power controls, but that does come out as a knee support. And then this button activates the tilting mechanism in the seat. So you can see it tilted forward, and you can also tilt it backwards to adjust to your back, as well as the usual controls for moving it backwards and forwards, and sliding it forwards and backwards. And then this is your bolster support adjustments. So you can firm these up, and you can adjust it inside of there. You can puff it up in there if you want to feel a little bit more gripped into your seat and your firmness for the side bolsters. So that is for the two front seats. The passenger seat and the driver's seat have that functionality. So let's move on forward to the back. Which has a powered tailgate. You see there is a button underneath the hatch next to the camera. I just pressed in with my finger on, and it opened the tailgate. And then new with the G05 is a power folding bottom tailgate as well. And inside of the vehicle, you can see there is no rear third row in this model, or in this exact configuration. We do have our spare tire area or storage. And then you can see your back seats there. It's a good amount of space in the trunk there. And then also it has this, so you can cover anything that you have in the back so that the passengers can't access it, and then nobody can see it through the window either, because it cuts off where this is placed. So you can easily just pull that forward or push it back. Back here you also have your emergency toolkit, amongst other wires. And you can see there's some power outlets if you were going to rear mount a camera or anything. You do have that option. And since everything is power, on the rear here, either you can close it from the driver's front, you can pop it open from your key, or on either of the power, you can press the power button to fold it here, to open it or close it, or you can just press the button here and it will perform that function for you and close up the entire rear hatch. And say you want to leave the vehicle, you just press the lock button and it would automatically do that lock for you. So you can see in the back here, they do have those armrests as well. And they still have that soft padding. And they have those Harman Kardon speakers throughout on the doors. They have side airbags on the side of the seat, curtain airbags, but they don't have that bolstering in the front. They do, however, have that storage, as well as 2 cup holders. They also have climate control, rear climate control, so they can adjust their fans as well as the temperature in the rear. And then we'll put that panoramic sunroof back so you can see, but they'll also have that panoramic sunroof. But you can see it's a mesh, so you can see through. As we get closer, you can see the sun through there. However, it does a good job at keeping that heat away. I'm putting my hand up to it and it's a little warm, but it's not too bad at all. Being that it's Arizona day and it's sunny, if we go ahead and fold that back up, we can press that button and you can see you can fold the front seats without removing these. It's nice, there's plenty of room here. If you wanted to accommodate larger objects, you can fold both of these, the second row flat. You see they also have a USB-C charging port, as well as option of adding rear entertainment screens. And then they also have that cubby hole, as well as more storage there. So let's go ahead and get up to the front. Let's take a peek at that engine. See these stock wheels there? And this is an N63 TU2 motor. So it's a twin turbo V8. And it has two massive grills in the front there. And that V8 is stuffed right under there. All right, let's take a peek from the driver's view. You can see it had soft close, so I'll go ahead and open that door and demonstrate that once more. So you can see my door, I don't have to slam it, I just pull it closed gently and it pulls itself in all the way. These are all one touch, so we'll go ahead and pull it up, and you can see it closed itself there. The panoramic roof is also one touch, so you just press that and it brings itself all the way open. You can open the roof as well if you want to press it again, pull it back, or you can just pop it open by holding that button to open it there. So there's pulling it back to open it, pulls it back, and then go ahead and bring it forward to close it again. And you can hear how much more quiet it is because of these dual pane windows. You can see the train is going by there, and it's much quieter than you would expect, because you can hear how loud it is when the windows are open. You have some HomeLink garage door opener buttons on your rear view mirror. And from the steering wheel, you can see that this is the M Sport. So it does have those paddle shifters with this V8, as well as phone controls, voice controls, and cruise control settings, as well as these turn signal options, automatic high beam controls. It has rear wiper controls over here, as well as the front windshield wipers on this stock right there. You're looking here, you have your headlight options as well as your fog light option right there. So you have auto headlights, headlights off, parking lights, fog lights, and then you have your cluster brightness, as well as a storage pocket. You can see even up here, this is a nice soft padded leather dashboard. So they're really trying to give you a lot of leather comfort. If you press that button, you get a deep recessed pocket. So yeah, they're really trying to give you a lot of storage space and a lot of options, it appears like. So now that we are back in the car, you can see here, it kept the last setting that I was driving in. I was driving an Eco Pro with individual settings so that I could still maintain my sport steering feel while I was getting the Eco Pro fuel mileage instead of the sport torquey feel. See the fuel gauge on the left with the miles left on your tank, your time, the odometer, and your temp gauge. And then as you move over to here, this is a very customizable display. So this is the way that it's set with the navigation settings, the sport displays, the radio, as well as having Apple CarPlay. And then all of that is also adjustable with this iDrive controller. So let's go ahead and start it up. You hold the brake in with your foot, and then as long as the key is in the car with you, you can just press that start-stop button. And you can see it does show you the speed limit is showing 25. So it's also up in the heads-up display. You can see speed limit 25, my current speed of 0. So you can see all of your passengers right here and their buckling status. You can see here the map. That is also what you see here on the nav. So I find that is really nice. You can see that turn right there, and then the 2 streets right there. And then current miles per gallon, 19.4. This is your gauge when you're an Eco Pro, so 0, 30, 60, 90, as well as your battery charging status down here, and then your speedometer. But if you go ahead and change that to comfort, you can see that changes to your speedometer, and everything turned that red, as well as your tachometer. And then even the vehicle became red. And when you press sport, it just changes your transmission mapping so that it holds on to your shifts longer to get you more of that higher end torque. But I like the blue color better for this cluster, as well as seeing my miles per gallon. And it still has plenty of power in that Eco Pro. And then if you're sitting here in your sports displays, you can see your oil pressure, your oil temperature. You can see your G-forces, your pound-feet of torque applied at that since your takeoff, and then your amount of horsepower that you're currently pushing. So when I press on that, you can see the torque figures. Alright, let's go ahead and get a sound clip of how it sounds. And in here, you also have, here's your control for your rear hatch. So you can push it down to open it and pull it up to close it. And you can hear the good sound deadening because of that double pane glass. So you can see the noise difference from when it's closed. And you can really tell just how much quieter this vehicle is than some of the other ones on the market. And then when you're shifting into reverse, the shifting control is a little bit different, where it has this button on the side, and then you pull it up, or you push it up to go into reverse or down to drive. Push it up into reverse. You can see it brings up the rear camera, as well as the 3D map on the right, and it does have automatic parking or backup assistant if you'd like. So if you turn the steering wheel, it still adjusts and shows on the image where your line is headed, and it adjusts it right here as well. And the biggest differences I see while I'm driving this vehicle, and the biggest differences between the two, I don't feel too much of an engine power difference because it is that big twin turbo V8. The turbos are obviously more efficient, better at getting air in, but I don't feel too much of a difference. Like, it's not And then the other difference is this does not have the ventilated seat option, but that could just be the spec of the vehicle. This screen is nice, but you can see all of the neighborhood streets on that gauge cluster, which I do like that gauge cluster a lot. And I do also like that Eco Pro has individual settings so that you can set all those functions, but then you can also maintain your driving dynamics. You can keep your sport steering if you're just trying to leisure around. You can still keep that sport stiff steering instead of having that super ultra light comfort steering. So that's also nice to have option. It's also quieter, just due to those double pane windows, probably some better isolation that it provides. Otherwise, they're both fantastic driving vehicles.